Good evening. Hope you're having a great week. I think it's Tuesday night. It is June 29th, 10:46 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, local time here in the Seattle, Washington area. I am on my way to Lacey, Washington to pick up a load. I was sitting at the TA in North Bend, Washington, which is about 20 miles east of Seattle off the I-90. That's where I just left. And I'm driving about 70 miles to Lacey, Washington, which is just a little ways south of Seattle. I'm going to a Home Depot distribution center to pick up a load going to Bozeman, Montana. So if you've been following my channel, you're probably sitting there thinking, why in the hell are you still in Seattle? You've been there for like 2 weeks. That's right. That's correct. I've been in Seattle for 2 weeks. Drama. So what ended up happening was I booked 3 loads with a Landstar agent. They're all 3 contract loads with Saya, just going back and forth between Dallas and Seattle. And there was some gaps in between the loads, like between load 1 and 2, there were 6 days. And what ended up happening was right before I was going to drive over and pick up load number 2, they canceled it on me. So that was a Thursday at around noon. They canceled it on me, and I was going to drive over there about 8 o'clock at night to pick up the load. It was a preloaded trailer that was supposed to be loaded by 6 a.m. So, and they told me no, truck ordered, not used, because it was within their contract cancellation period where they didn't have to pay one. So awesome. Just sat for 6 days for no reason. And I tried looking for a load Thursday afternoon, couldn't find one. Couldn't find one Friday. I had to set through the weekend. And then Monday, I made the decision. There's a lot more to the story. I'm trying to avoid going into too much detail. Otherwise, this video is going to last like 15 hours. Um, I dropped the empty off early so that I could find a place to park in the Seattle area, because Seattle is like one of the most trucker unfriendly places I've ever been. There's almost no parking for trucks in the Seattle area. So I checked with Saya, I checked with the agent. They both said it was cool for me to drop my empty off early. So I dropped off early so I could find a bobtail spot. So after they canceled the load on me, I didn't immediately go back over there and pick up my empty. I waited until Monday, and then Monday morning I made the decision to go grab an empty, because my empty was probably gone and I was probably going to have to put whatever trailer I picked up in the shop. So I needed to hurry up and get that over with so I wouldn't have to cancel any loads that I booked. Like if I booked a load and then went over and picked up the trailer and found out I had to put the trailer in the shop, I might not be able to make the pickup appointment on a load. So I went over and picked up the load, and I made the decision to go ahead and take the trailer to the TA where I was just at, because it's the only place in this area that is Landstar certified for DOT inspections. And I thought that maybe I could find a spot there parking with a trailer. I couldn't. Well, I eventually did, but I got there at 3 p.m. on Monday, and they were sold out of reserved parking. There was a hotel across the street, and I paid them $15 to park there. And then the following day, would would that be Tuesday morning? Yeah, Tuesday morning. This must be Wednesday night. Is it Wednesday night? I think it is. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, this must be Wednesday night. So Tuesday morning, I put the truck in the shop, or the trailer in the shop and the truck. And then afterward, I was able to find a parking spot at they got me out of there about 9 a.m. and I was able to find a parking spot there. And shortly after I got parked, I booked a load. This load that I have right now. Well, I don't have it yet. The load I'm going to pick up right now, I booked it. So the drama at the shop, I put the trailer in the shop because it had a tire with a slow air leak. This trailer has the auto air system on it, so the auto air system is able to keep it inflated, but whenever I picked the trailer up, that tire was low on air, so it has a really, really slow leak. It also had a marker light out, and it was overdue for a DOT inspection. And I also needed to get a DOT inspection done on my truck because it was due, Landstar requires them to be done every 120 days. So I only had about 10 days left to get my DOT inspection done on my truck. So I was like, you know what? Let's get that knocked out anyway. Let's go ahead and do it while we're here. And they got all the stuff fixed with the trailer, did the DOT inspection, everything. They said that there was a screw or a nail or something in that slow leaking tire, and I think they said they repaired it. They didn't replace it. And on my truck, he said that he found two issues. He said that I had to have reflectors on my mud flaps, and that's just not true. And he failed me on that. And he said that I had to I also had a slack adjuster that was at 2 inches on the slack. And he said that had to be replaced. So I immediately got defensive because I don't fucking trust mechanics, and I have my truck inspected all the time. And these TA and Petro mechanics that work off fucking commission, they're shady as shit. That's the reason I normally don't get my truck inspected at just random places. I try to go to the same place every time, because like these mechanics are so shady, and I hate Landstar's policies. If you fail a DOT inspection, you cannot move the equipment. If I were to try to take my truck over to another shop to get this stuff worked on, or to work on it myself, TA and Petro will not let me work on it myself in their bay. So they won't let me go put DOT tape on it. They're going to make me pay them to do it. It's a fucking scam. And Landstar makes you, just a second here. This idiot, I'm catching back up with him. This person was yo-yoing back and forth in front of me, slowing down between he was slowing down to like 50, and then he'd speed up to 70. He was bouncing back and forth between 50 and 70. And then he just took off and disappeared, and now I've caught back up with him again. I guess he's been going 50 for a while. But they, I don't know. I'm really pissed off about the whole thing, but I ended up paying them to replace slack adjuster, and they also charged me $80 to put DOT tape on my fucking mud flaps. Now, you are required to have DOT tape on the back of your tractor in certain locations. And one location that is perfectly legal is on the metal bar in between my mud flaps. That's where my DOT tape is normally at. But I did look, and that DOT tape, part of it had fallen off. And all we had to do was put some new DOT tape on there. But he was adamant that the DOT stuff had to be on the mud flaps, because that was like a TA Petro policy or some shit. I don't know. And also, he said that because it's an automatic slack adjuster, he can't adjust that because that's a TA and Petro policy. I'm not a mechanic, but I'm fairly certain that even automatic slack adjusters can be manually adjusted. So that slack adjuster could have just simply been adjusted. And if it was completely not functioning, then that's one thing. But like, if it just needs to be adjusted, that's something else. and then just put some DOT tape. Like, if I was at my normal mechanic, this is something that probably would have taken 5 minutes and cost me nothing. But because I was at this shitty TA Petro, it ended up costing me $400 because they wanted to put some DOT reflective plates on my mud flaps. They charged me $25 for the plates and $50 to put them on, like $75. Jesus. Fucking, just a second here. Motherfucker got their brights on. I can't see shit. Dumbasses. Um, and then the rest of it was for replacing the slack adjuster. So I'm a bit upset over that. I hate getting work done at TA and Petro. Now, as long as somebody else is paying for it, I don't fucking mind, you know. TA and Petro is my favorite place to take a company trailer. But if I'm paying for it, I will not get anything done at TA or Petro. It's not happening. These fuckers are so shady. There was a guy waiting in line with me, uh, another owner operator. His AC compressor was out, and he went and bought an AC compressor, and he was just wanting them to install it for him. And he had gotten there the day before, like I had. You know, we both got there Monday. He got there at like 10 a.m. Monday. I got there at 3 p.m. And he said it. They told me at 3 p.m. that they were booked for the day. They weren't taking any more jobs. And he said they told him the same thing at 10 a.m. And they told him the same thing they told me. Be there at the door when we open at 6 a.m. Otherwise, if you're not first in line, we can't guarantee we'll be able to get around to you. So I was first in line. I was standing in line at 5:20 a.m. And by the time they opened up, there were two other people in line with me. And one of them was the AC compressor guy. And after waiting there for a day, standing in line for a half hour in the morning and all that, they get him into a bay and they give him a quote of 2 hours to install the AC compressor. And I can't remember what their labor rates are. They're like $140 an hour or something like that. So they wanted to charge him roughly $300 to replace the AC compressor. And he told them no and left after sitting there all that time. Damn, that sucks. I don't think he understood like how much of a pain in the ass it is to replace an AC compressor. I think he told me that he would have replaced it himself, but he didn't have any tools. And I don't think he understood there was a little bit more involved in that. And that's what the mechanics were saying whenever they were there. I was standing at the front desk whenever after he left, and the mechanic came in there and said, "Yeah, that person with so and so canceled." And I was like, "The AC compressor guy," and he was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Yeah, he didn't want to pay. We told him 2 hours of labor, and we told him we might be able to get it done earlier than that." But they quoted him 2 hours of labor, and he was just like, "No, I'm not paying you 2 hours to replace that part." And they were sitting there saying that what they were telling me is that you know it wasn't just simply swapping it out. They had to uh, this second here. Traffic is picking up a little bit. Got people passing me with their brights on, blinding the shit out of me, and I've got an exit coming up in 1.3 miles. Got bright lights in both directions. So, like, they had to, I don't know what, I'm not a mechanic, but they were explaining that they had to pressurize something with a coolant system or some shit. I forget, but son of a bitch. Why the hell is this fucking van going so slow? I don't want to get out trying to pass them because I've got an exit in half a mile. Now they took off. I don't think that they were going up a hill, and I don't think that they realized how much they were slowing down due to the hill. Just distracted driver or something. Now they just took off. Now, if I remember this exit correctly, it's a double exit to go left to go toward Tacoma. So I'm good in either lane to go to Tacoma. You have to be in the right lane to go to Seattle, to go north. Yeah, that's what it is. And then I think I have to get over 2 lanes once we get onto the 5, but we're going to stay in this right lane as long as we can. We got a whole bunch of four-wheelers coming up on us now. But yeah, I don't think that that was something that somebody could do in the truck stop parking lot with just a little toolbox, because you're dealing with AC coolant and stuff like that. But I thought that that estimate they gave him was somewhat reasonable. You know, they were pretty honest with him. Come on, dumbasses. Everybody's trying to get around me. They know that fucking lane goes exit only, and they're just, instead of letting me over, they're trying to get around me. Just every man for himself in this world. Everybody is so aggressive. So, yeah, that sucks. I felt bad for that guy. He and I talked for quite a while. I can't remember if he told me how long his AC compressor had been out, but it'd been out for a while. I was like, damn, that sucks. I was like, do you have an APU or anything? And he's like, no, the APU's broken too. I'm like, damn, I couldn't sleep. There's no way I could sleep in one of these trucks. The inside of these trucks gets hotter than the outside. So if it's 90 degrees outside, it's like 120 inside this truck. So yeah, I ended up getting through all that drama with the getting the truck worked on and all that stuff, and getting my DOT inspection updated. And then as soon as I got out of there, within an hour or so of parking, I got a load alert for the load that I have right now, and it's a really good load. So let's talk about this load and talk about booking loads, and traffic is really picking up. It doesn't look like it because I'm really good at creating space, but there's a lot of cars in front of me and a lot of cars behind me. And what I'm always trying to do is just create space, drive in between the packs. I try not to drive in packs of vehicles, because that's the way most cars that's the way people drive, is they hurry up to catch up with the person in front of them. and they drive in packs because of that. So let's talk about why this load is so good and talk about like how to think about stuff creatively out of the box whenever you're picking loads, because there's a lot of people in this industry that just don't know how to book loads. And when I say they don't know how to book loads, I don't mean they don't know how to. Well, what I'm not saying that they can't pick up a phone and book a load. What I'm saying is they don't know how to properly book loads. They don't know what's a good load and what's a bad load and the ways to move around this country and be profitable. There are a lot of people that they just, if you tell them that they need to deadhead 300 miles to pick up a load, that's just like, whoa, no, 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 that's not happening. That's beyond them. That's out of their like, they can't comprehend that shit. They can't process that. Deadheading long distances for loads is just something that they're incapable of understanding. So let me explain this particular load to hopefully get it across to people that might have issues thinking about, what loads are good and bad and how to move across the country. So most of the loads in this area, in the Seattle and Portland area, the decent paying loads are paying around $2 to $2.50 a mile. The good paying loads are paying over $2.50 a mile. That's really cheap. Just to give you an idea, the load that I had booked that was going from Seattle back to Dallas, the one that canceled on me, was paying $2.98 a mile. It was paying around $6,100. The load that I have right now is going to Bozeman, Montana. It's only going a third of the way. It's only going like 730 miles, whereas the load going to Dallas is going 2,100 miles, and it pays the exact same amount of money. It's paying $6,100. So there's probably people that are sitting there thinking, man, but you're in a really bad freight market. You're going to Bozeman. That's the reason it pays a premium, is because it is going into a really bad freight market. They're paying you extra money because you're most likely going to have to deadhead 500 plus miles to get your next load. But just think about this. I was going to get paid $6,100 to drive all the way to Dallas. I can still do that if I want to. I'm making $6,100 to go to Bozeman. And after Bozeman, I can go ahead and drive down to Dallas if I want to. And I made the same amount of money, but I deadheaded like 1,500 miles. And another big part of that is that I'm empty for a large portion of it. So I'm getting much better fuel mileage by taking this shorter run that's paying the same amount of money. And I can go ahead and deadhead wherever in the hell I want. I mean, that's the whole reason that they pay so much money on this load, is because they're fully expecting you to deadhead a really long way to get your next load. Just a second here. This is getting annoying. I'm getting passed by tons of cars, and they keep piling up in front of me. Even though I'm going the exact same speed as the cars in front of me, every time another one gets in front of me, I have to slow down. These dumbasses won't get behind me. They have to get in front of me. I've got 19 miles approximately to my exit. Actually, it's a little bit further than that because um, Google is trying to route me through like a residential neighborhood, and I'm not going to take Google's route. I use Google as my GPS because it's the most accurate, but you basically have to do your own trip planning if you're using Google as your GPS. It's not a truck GPS, and I've used truck GPSs before, and I think they're absolutely worthless. I wouldn't trust one. I would still do my own trip planning, even if I had a trucker GPS, because they're just really bad. I've been using Google Maps the entire time I've been back in the industry since like, February of 2020. I haven't had an issue with it. Lane ends in 3/4 of a mile. We got a nice big opening to move over. Very nice. I like it. I really hope that the trailer I'm picking up, I'm not going to have to put it in the shop. I can't remember the last time I picked up a trailer that I didn't have to put it in the shop, though. I just put this damn thing in the shop and had a whole bunch of work done on it, and it's good to go. I didn't go over everything I had done on it. Like the registration, um, all of the paperwork had gotten wet, and all the paperwork had gotten brittle and was just crumbling in your hands. So I had to call and set on hold for like 30 minutes to get a hold of trailer maintenance and have them email me the registration. And then I had to go and have somebody at the truck stop print it out for me. Uh, the shop at the truck stop was nice enough to print it out for free, though. That was nice of them. They normally charge like 50 cents or something. But yeah, we got this trailer tip top, and now we're gonna hand it over to some dumbass that just left me some nightmare trailer that I'm gonna have to go spend 2 days in the fucking shop with. That's the story of my damn life. I hate steering wheel holders so much. They cost me so much time. But this load it's supposed to be a preloaded trailer that is supposed to be ready by 6 a.m. And I am slightly familiar with the way that this Home Depot distribution center operates. So I'm coming over here in the middle of the night, and I'm hoping the trailer's ready right now, and I'll be able to turn and burn and get the hell out of the Seattle area in the middle of the night before traffic gets bad. Because um, if I remember correctly, last time I was here, they told me like it's 24 hours a day as far as the guard shack goes. The security people in the guard shack are there 24 hours a day. You can pick up a preloaded trailer 24 hours a day, but they told me that the dock people that load and unload trailers only work. Second here, we got a couple of vehicles on the shoulder. The um, the dock workers don't work nights. Well, they don't work all night. I think they told me that the dock workers start working at like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., 8 a.m., somewhere in that area. And there's only two shifts. And the second shift gets off work at like midnight or 2 a.m. or something like that. So if this trailer is supposed to be ready by 6 a.m., then it will be ready before that second shift gets off shift at midnight or 2 a.m., whatever time they end their shift. Otherwise, it's not going to get worked on until first shift comes in. Now, last time I was told that my trailer was supposed to be ready by 8 a.m., and it was 13 hours late. That's how I know about all the dock worker schedules and stuff, because they explained it all to me whenever I got there to pick up the trailer. So I'm hoping this one is actually ready on time, which means that it would be ready by the time second shift leaves at 2 a.m. So if all goes well, then I got a simple drop and hook that's about to happen, and I'm going to turn around and go back the exact same way I just came and get the hell away from Seattle. Just a second here. These four-wheelers are slowing down in front of me, and that pickup truck is swerving all over the place. I think they're taking this exit. Yep, there they go. But I'm about 16 miles away according to Google, but it's going to be a couple miles further than that because Google wants me to cut across somebody's backyard, and I'm not doing that. And so hopefully, even if there is work that needs to be done on the trailer, if it's not too bad, I'll go ahead and drive it over to the TA that I just left, and I'll sit there and wait until 6 a.m. whenever they open up, and I'll put the trailer in the shop over there. If it's a flat tire or something like that, no, I'm not driving a loaded trailer with a flat tire 70 miles to a shop. I'll have to have roadside come out and fix it. But if it's something really minor, like a marker light out or something like that, yeah, I'll go ahead and drive it over to the TA that I just left. And the plan after the load is scheduled to deliver Friday. I forget what time Friday. It's Friday afternoon sometime, like 1 or 2 p.m. or something like that. What I think I'm going to do is after I deliver the load, I'm going to go ahead and take off and start driving toward my house. I think I might go ahead and just drive all the way home, because the nearest good freight market east, like I could drive back over here to the Seattle Portland area. It's only like 730 miles or so to get back over to here. But the nearest good freight market heading back east, you're talking like Minneapolis, Omaha, Kansas City. Basically the same distance as it would be to go to all the way to my damn house. Just a second here. I think this is the same dumbass that keeps yo-yoing in front of me. I think he passed me. I passed him, he's passed me, and then he keeps speeding up and slowing down in front of me. He can't figure out, or she can't figure out how fast they want to go. Now I don't know if they've got their cruise control set or what's going on. But I'm going to go ahead and get around them. I want to speed up to 65. Speed limit is 60, so I'm speeding right now. We're going 5 over the limit because I don't want to take 30 minutes to pass this guy. All right, I remember the truck now. It's got a deck of cards, a picture of like a hand of cards on the driver's side door. So that, I guess, is like their company logo or something. Oh, he sped up. I'm slowing back down to 60 right now, and he's catching back up with me. So he's probably going to pass me here in a second. He's going like 57 miles an hour. All right, this lane's about to end. I sped up to 65 to get around him faster, and he sped up with me. Oh, now he's slowed back down. Half a mile, lane ends. We're going to go ahead and move over now. We're not going to rely on the courtesy of other drivers to let us out of that lane when it ends. You get run into the damn shoulder. But yeah, I think I'll probably end up deadheading home because here's the thing. There are not going to be any loads posted until Tuesday at the earliest because Monday is July 4th. So brokers are going to leave early. Friday is going to be a short day for a lot of brokers. So Friday, hell, the rest of this week is probably going to be less loads than normal that are posted. And it's just going to get slower and slower and slower as we get closer and closer to Friday. There's going to be next to nothing posted on Monday. Tuesday is going to be a slow freight day. All next week is most likely going to be a slow freight week, much slower than normal. And then last year, after July 4th, freight was slow for a month. Freight did not pick back up for a month. So I'm probably just going to head to the house after I deliver in Bozeman. Otherwise, I'm going to be sitting at the truck stop for a couple of weeks waiting on a load in a bad freight area. And if I just go ahead and drive, I'm going to have to deadhead a long distance to get to a good freight market anyway. So just go to my house and I'll wait for a load at my house. I haven't finalized that decision. That's not 100%, but there's about a 70% chance that that's what I'm going to do. After I deliver in Bozeman, I'm just going to deadhead home. It's like 1,500 miles. It's going to cost me around $1,000 in fuel. Normally, it would only cost me about $250 to $300 in fuel, but fuel prices have gone up around 4 times what they were whenever I first became an owner operator a couple of years ago. Fuel prices are about 4 times higher right now than they were. So back then, when I would deadhead 1,200 miles, the right lane ends. I don't know if that is for the service road or for this. Right lane ends in 3/4 of a mile. I hate it whenever they put signs up like that don't differentiate between like the on ramp and this. All right, there's another sign that says the right lane ends. So we're gonna go ahead and move over. Because you'll see like a speed limit sign for the service road. It's like 55 miles an hour, and you're like, I thought it was 70 out here. Like, oh, that's for the service road. I don't think they do a very good job of sign placement in a lot of these areas. All right, we got 5.3 miles. There's a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about. What I'll probably do is once I get to the Home Depot, maybe I'll leave the video running for a minute or two whenever I first get there, but I'm going to have to exchange some personal information with them, like some pickup numbers and stuff like that I really don't want to give out to YouTube. And I don't have a pause button on this application I'm using to record. So whenever I get to the guard shack, I'll probably end the video. And then whenever I leave, I'll make another video. and we can talk about more of the stuff that I don't have the time to talk about right now. Catching up with is, I don't know if that's a U-Haul or an RV. I think it's a U-Haul going slow. And we have about 5 miles until the exit. I think I might just hang out behind this U-Haul instead of passing them. I don't like to pass people when I'm close to an exit. If they're going a little bit slower than me, I'll just hang out behind them. If they're going really slow, I'll go ahead and pass them. I don't know what in the hell this idiot's doing. That pickup truck that's passing the U-Haul on the right, it's a temporary lane. What a jackass. Second here. Just watching this truck that's passing me. I have to watch what's to the right of me and what's to the left of me and watch the truck passing me, because a lot of these people, whenever they look over in their mirror to see, if they've made it past you yet, they'll come over into your lane. So I need to know whether or not there's somebody to the right of me to know if I can move over there real quick to avoid being hit. We're getting close. Please be ready. If it's not ready, it's not the end of the world. Um, what I'll end up doing is, if they tell me that it's not ready, that means that it's not going to be ready until probably around noon at the earliest. If it's not ready right now, it's not going to be ready until first shift comes on. First shift is going to have to start working on it whenever they get there, and it's going to take them 3 or 4 hours at least to load it. So it's not going to be ready until noon at the earliest. So if that's the case, what I'll do is I'll just go to sleep, and I'll end up leaving tomorrow night. Like, I'll leave at around 10 p.m., 9 or 10 p.m. tomorrow night. Or I guess it's tonight now. Let's see. It's still tomorrow. It's 11:29 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time right now. But last time I was here, I think I already mentioned it, it was 13 hours late. It was supposed to be ready by 8 a.m., and it was ready at 9 p.m. And I barely made the delivery appointment because of that. If it's ready on time, then I have tons of time to get there. But if it's not going to be ready until tonight, then it's going to be really close. I might not be able to deliver on time because I can't do that amount of mileage in a single drive shift. 730 miles with a 60 mile per hour speed limit is not happening. 730 miles in a single drive shift is just not happening. So I have to take a 10-hour break, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to make the delivery appointment. Okay, this U-Haul has slowed down a lot. Just a second here. This is the exit that Google wants me to take. I would have to drive through a residential to get to the Home Depot. And there's a sign. I remember last time I was there, there's a sign at the Home Depot that says no trucks this direction. So trucks are not allowed to drive through that residential. You have to come at it from this other direction. Oh my goodness, U-Haul, why in the hell did you just slow down? 2 miles to the next exit, and this U-Haul out of nowhere just dropped down to like 50 miles an hour. Now they're speeding back up. We're up to 55. If there was nobody else on the road, this would be like the perfect job. But the other people on the road make this dangerous and frustrating. This is a very high stress job because of the other idiots that you're on the road with. When people drop speed like that and then they speed back up, it's usually because they're playing on their phone. They got a text message or something. Whenever that happens, they'll just slow down while they read the text. And then after they finish reading, they'll speed back up. That's something that is incredibly common out here. It's distracted drivers just speeding up and slowing down to send messages and stuff. I have people all the time that'll be flying by me going like 80, 100 miles an hour, and they'll dip over in front of me, pull out their phone, slow down, and then after a minute or two, they'll put their phone down, hop back out in the left lane, and take off again. All right. Marvin Road, and then I forget the name of the next road I need to turn on, but whenever I see the name, I'll recognize it. And they have a couple of roundabouts, or not roundabouts, but oh my goodness, I forget what in the hell they're called. Okay, I think I need to go this way. No, get off me, bro. Get off me, bro. Oh, no, we're going this way. No, I'm not going that way. That Hoogam Bay Road northeast right there, I've taken that damn thing before. Come on around. I have to take up both lanes around these traffic circles. Willamette, that's the name. I hate traffic circles so much. Here we got another traffic circle. There's nobody around me this time. But as I approach the traffic circle, I just go into the center in between both lanes. Let people know that I'm going to be using all the lanes. Exit the traffic circle onto Willamette Drive northeast. Continue on Willamette Drive northeast for 3/4 of a mile. All right, we're almost there. So, hey, if you're still listening, I'm about to end the video. Um, I'm curious as to how everybody's doing in this market. If you want to throw it in the comments, how are you doing in the current market versus, before Russia invaded Ukraine? How are you doing now versus then? And what type of freight are you hauling? Are you hauling contract, or are you hauling spot market freight? I'm really curious as to how everybody's doing out there, because there's a whole bunch of channels on YouTube that are fear mongering channels, and you just can't trust any of the information from them. I don't trust the information coming from the mainstream media because they all have a political agenda that they're trying to push. So I'm curious what, like, real people out there, what's going on with them. I've talked with, all the YouTube truckers that seem to be going out of business are hauling spot market freight. And I've talked with a few people out here that they don't work off load boards or anything like that. They just basically haul contract stuff. Like there was a lady I was talking with yesterday or the day before, and she hauls liquor loads. And she's an owner operator, and she just hauls liquor from Kentucky to various places, and nothing's changed for her except the high fuel prices, of course. Everybody's feeling that. Man, why do they make these roads so narrow in a damn industrial park? You'd think in an industrial park they would make roads wide enough for trucks. They would make it to where these turns weren't really, really tight. If the load's not ready, they're going to tell me to drop off the empty and park at their next door neighbor, bobtail over and hang out at their next door neighbor, and they'll give me a phone number, which I still have their phone number, to call and check the status. And they'll just tell me to call every couple hours to check the status. This business right here, over to the right, is the one they told me to park at last time. There's a Landstar driver parked there right now. All right. Let's swing way out here into the left turn lane to make a right turn. All right, so now I'm going to end the video while I check in with them, and hopefully I get good news. Hopefully they tell me that the load is ready. Hopefully they don't tell me it's not going to be ready until tomorrow sometime. So, all right, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.